attack that began upstairs, followed by Michael's desperate attempt to escape while suffering catastrophic blood loss. Downstairs, detectives recover a black floral bag full of women's clothing and some body garments nearby, also stained with blood. Every item photographed, packaged, and sent off for forensic testing. As they continue their search for Jennifer, canvassing the neighborhood comes up empty. Nobody saw her, nobody heard her, but they do manage to reach her brother, and that's when the investigation takes a turn. According to police records, Jennifer's brother told investigators that she had been picked up for Michael's brother. The next day, Angelica drives her over to her brother's house, and it's there, according to the brother, that Jennifer says she got him with a tactical knife. That's it. That's all she'll say. A few hours later, Angelica drives her back home, but by now, detectives are building a very different timeline. Later that day, they head to the hospital, and this confirms what they already suspected. Four key indicators. One, slight bruising in the neck where doctors ordered imaging just to make sure the arteries wasn't punctured. Michael was stable and expected to recover, but not able to speak with detectives at that time. So here's where they stand. A blood-soaked bedroom, a critically wounded man fighting for his life in the ICU, and a suspect still out there somewhere. But it won't be long before the pieces finally start coming together. Just days after the attack, as detectives were on their way to the hospital to speak with Michael, they received an important update. Jennifer had turned herself in. She retained counsel and invoked her right to remain silent. In doing so, she ensured that the only person who truly knows why those 14 wounds were inflicted wouldn't have to explain them. Therefore, their meeting with Michael would be their first real window into what happened inside that house. Michael tells them he and Jennifer met out on Tinder. It started out casual and got serious. Eventually, she moved in. They had been together for about 2.5 years, and he described the relationship as normal. No recent blow-ups, no escalating fights. Nothing, he says, that would explain any of this. Jennifer worked at a local coffee shop, but didn't make much money, and Michael admitted finances were an issue. He said she had a nursing background and had worked as a pharmacy technician. He suspected she might have had an attorney fee to pay, but he wasn't sure. Co-workers later confirmed she did. He also noticed something else. They didn't know her real name. He only knew her as Rain. Friends of Jennifer echoed that. They also said she complained that Michael was mentally abusive. None reported physical abuse, but one friend said that about a month before the stabbing, Jennifer told her she wanted Michael to die. Another said that Jennifer was recently distraught over something she saw on a phone. The police report does not clarify whose phone or what she saw. Then, Michael walked them through the night of July 2nd. But before he gave detectives his account of what took place, he told officers had already begun piecing together the basic facts at the scene. Their information cleared, but one detail became clear almost immediately. Michael recalled that on the night of the stabbing, he returned home from his job as a supervisor at a food manufacturer. Jennifer was on the couch. They watched TV. Everything felt normal. They put on The Strangers Chapter 2, a long horror movie, and stayed up late. Around 1:30 a.m., they went to bed. The next thing he remembered was pain. Michael said he was suddenly awakened by two sharp stabbing sensations in his leg. He opened his eyes and saw Jennifer repeatedly stabbing him while screaming. He said he had never seen that look in her eyes before. He tried to defend himself, but she had him pinned under the blanket, preventing him from rolling off the bed. He said he saw two knives, one pink, one blue. He yelled, "What are you doing to me?" Jennifer turned to him and said, "I don't know what happened. It was a nightmare." That statement became one of the key questions in the investigation. If Jennifer truly believed she was experiencing some type of nightmare or involuntary episode, detectives needed evidence that supported it. If she wasn't, the physical evidence would eventually convince someone else. Their job wasn't to choose a theory. Their job was to test every explanation against the evidence. Then, according to Michael, Jennifer froze briefly before going to get towels. He told her to call 911. He said he saw her grab a phone and make a call. He heard her say, "We need help. My boyfriend is hurt," followed by their address. He says she told him help was on its way. Michael lay there in bed, expecting sirens, but no one ever came. He couldn't find his phone, and eventually he passed out. At that point, officers knew Jennifer's SUV was still sitting in the driveway. Jennifer herself was gone. If she had taken Michael's phone with her, locating that phone might also lead them directly to her. Ultimately, Michael's phone came right back to the crime scene. It was there the whole time, tucked away in the master bedroom, hidden under the sheets. So detectives dug in. They searched his phone logs. They pulled Jennifer's phone records. They even reached out to local dispatch centers to see if an emergency call had come in, but there was no record of a completed 911 call. Not one dispatcher reported getting a stabbing call from either phone during the window Michael described. He had been left for dead. When Michael regained consciousness, he realized he was badly injured. The sirens Jennifer had said were coming never arrived. Bleeding heavily, he knew that if he wanted to survive, he would have to save himself. He crawled into the hallway before losing consciousness again. When he woke up, he continued moving. After finally reaching the entrance, he pushed open the storm door, collapsed outside, and screamed for help until his neck hurt him. Jennifer was booked into the Macomb County Jail, and bond was set at $250,000 cash or surety. Prosecutors moved forward with a single charge of assault with intent to murder. Under Michigan law, that charge carries a potential life sentence. She pleaded not guilty, and it would be up to a jury to decide her fate. On November 21st, 2025, Jennifer Hayes was found guilty of a single count of assault with intent to murder. She was subsequently sentenced to 10 and a half to 30 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections. Days later, her attorney filed an appeal, and that's where the case stands currently. Nightmares fade with morning light. This one ended in a courtroom. taxpayers paid Keisha Rand's bodies to serve the public. Instead, she helped herself, taking a second taxpayer fund job, paying her 135 grand more. Caught with two hands in the cookie jar, two sweet government jobs. After the watchdogs blasted her double-handed, Bottoms doubled down. I don't think we should be a broke politician. Lining her own pockets while taxpayers get the crumbs. Keisha Rance Bottoms. She made a mess of Georgia as governor.
Bobby has been rock hard. When he calls me, the phone shakes.
I mean, it's like I'm doing service already. Blue Chew Gold.
It's better sex than that.
You have arousal. So not only are you arrested, you want it.
And here's the science of it. You combine four ingredients into one problem.
What up? Do some cleanup out in the yard.